Welcome to Geek Rant. Hey everyone, welcome to Geek Rant. It's Greg here again on the channel with Toby, and today we're going to be talking about the first episode of the new series, The Penguin. This has come out on Sky here. It's on one of the Sky
Yeah,
channels
on now.
On now.
Yeah.
But it's an HBO production, isn't it? It's funny because whenever you go to see one of these HBO films, they have that little. And it always makes me think Game of Thrones is coming on.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
instantly
it's
like,
the iconic show, isn't it, from HBO?
I'm
Yeah.
in the wrong frame of mind suddenly. This was actually quite a nice surprise. Actually,
Well, it follows on from the Batman film.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So
It's
we
pretty much straight after it, isn't it? I mean, I know you quite liked the. I thought it was a good film. I thought it was a 7 out of 10 Batman film. It was certainly interesting seeing someone quite different playing the Batman character. I liked the slightly different approach they had. It was very gritty.
yeah.
It was quite dark. There was a hell of a lot of raining in the Batman film as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It was really they really tried to make Gotham a real
Dark and
part of
grim.
it, you know.
Yeah, as a
That was
character in the show, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah.
I really liked that film. I think I liked it better more than you did.
Yes, I thought
I,
it was good. I
yeah.
wasn't.
It was like one of my highlights for that
Yeah,
year,
yes,
film-wise.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It was 22, wasn't it? So it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And this actually you see at the beginning, and I think this was one of the nice things I thought about this
Yeah.
program, is it really set it up nicely. You instantly knew where you were, what was
Yeah.
going on.
hmm
With the news reports that they show at the beginning there of
Yeah.
the flooding that had happened once the Riddler had blown the seawall,
Yeah.
and obviously that it caused complete mayhem throughout Gotham,
Yeah.
and also that the head of the Falcone family is obviously killed at the end of the last episode, and so we're
Yeah.
immediately into this power struggle, aren't we, to see who's going
Yeah.
to kind of take over, whether one of the other sort of mafia gangs is going to then step up.
Yeah, and I
um
think that was a brave thing to do personally, because what they're basically saying there is we are carrying on with something that was cinematic, something that was very
yes,
kind of noir,
yeah,
and they're like saying we're taking that mantle on with this show.
yes,
This is an extension of a big time blockbuster film,
yeah, yeah,
and you can expect us to take that mantle on, which I thought was a really brave thing to do, because they could have just cut straight in and we could have had a lower profile, more of a
yeah,
TV orientated, but straight away we're getting
no,
that sense that this is going to be more cinematic.
yeah.
And
And I think they really pulled that off. it, it,
yeah, me
it
too.
totally felt like it was the same world, and the same, exactly that, a more cinematic approach to it than you
Yeah,
get from sort of standard TV series,
yeah, definitely.
It was felt more location based, didn't it? Sort of filming rather than in
Yeah,
studios and things like that.
definitely.
And it, and
Outside.
it and it really made it feel cinematic. It was very gritty,
Yeah,
and dark. There was definitely dark bits, and
yeah. Little snippets of the like Batman, the 1980s Batman
yes,
film, kind of came through in some of the shooting as well, which I thought was great.
yeah,
And so it really kind of paying homage to that heritage of Gotham. It was fantastic. I love all that.
yeah. No, it was really good, and I also thought there was some really good sort of character development or character explanation. Especially of the Penguin. I
Yeah,
felt you got a really good understanding of him, what he's in, wants to create. That
yeah,
story he was telling old boss that had got killed, and there was a whole parade for him, and it really sort
yeah.
of developed that of he wanted to be that kind of more older style of gangster, where
Man of the people.
man of the people. Yes, exactly. And
Yeah,
and that I liked that. You saw some good aspects in there to give a
mm,
bit of explanation about him and his
yeah,
motivation, and
yeah.
I
It
think
was
that was
pretty
really
clear, wasn't
good.
it? It was
Yes,
pretty clear that with this first episode, it was character driven.
yes,
The plot wasn't a big issue here. Although there's a nice little twist at the end where
Yes.
they're placing the ring and stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah.
which I thought was really nice.
I thought that was really good.
Unexpected,
Yeah, I thought that
unexpected
was
little
really
plot
good.
twist.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that from the outset, we're confronted with this face. And I think that talking about a character, we have to talk about Penguin and Colin
I
Farrell's
know.
portrayal of the Penguin, because
I
you
know.
say it's all about him.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I know.
It's absolutely
I
unbelievable to
know.
look at that,
I
the
know.
makeup and the
It's
prosthetics,
incredible,
and
isn't it?
say it's Colin Farrell.
I know.
My
Because
kids walked in, they're young adults, and I like, that actor? And they go, no, I don't. And I show the picture. Yes, you do. And they go, oh my God. It was so powerful the
it
way that he embodied this suit.
absolutely,
Never seen
absolutely.
anything like it. In the film, it was amazing, but you don't see
His
him that much.
and like his voice and his accent is so good,
Yeah.
because he's Irish, isn't he? He's got
Yeah.
a really strong Irish accent,
Yeah. He
and he
does.
just does this a brilliant sort of New York sort of
Yeah.
style accent, doesn't he? And
He does.
it's really impressive. You totally forget that he is Colin Farrell, don't you? You think,
Sometimes you see it in his eyes and his forehead a little bit. You can just
yeah,
notice him,
yeah,
and but he's underneath there. I think it adds a mystique to the
yeah,
Penguin. There's like a fourth wall, whatever they call it, where you know that this is someone fake, but you're believing it. You're like
yeah.
almost there's like a fairground type attraction to it. It's almost
Mm,
like
mm.
some or one of those bizarre shows where they have some kind of strange person you're looking at with
Yeah,
with a kind of awe.
yeah, yeah.
And I was hypnotized by him. I was looking at that scar across his lip and trying to see the join for his teeth, and I couldn't see anything. It was amazing.
Yeah, the prosthetics were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
truly, as even when he's talking and moving, it didn't look like something that was kind of joined onto his face, did it?
It was
It was
astounding.
amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really was. It
yeah.
made me question, like, hang on a minute, what are we gonna? Could they do this with other actors and we're not even
Yeah.
knowing it? In other
Yeah.
films, they're kind of putting them in. It's
Well,
it's like,
I have been dressed as George Clooney for quite a while now,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Well, I knew that, and yeah, I mean, no, I was glad, and for that reason, we could be in his face a lot. We could be there,
yes.
right close with him
Yeah,
while he was
yeah.
going on this unsettled journey. And there's this thing about him and his mum and the boy,
Yeah.
and he kind of like almost sees the boy like himself potentially. He
Yes.
wants to
Yeah.
be nurturing, but he's not. He
But I also
threatens.
think it was in some respects quite a good thing to have a character
Yeah,
like that who is brought into the storyline, who doesn't know the things that are going on, and it gives
mm,
a way to help explain the scenario and help explain certain
yeah,
situations. It's a
yeah.
simple device, isn't it, to do that? But
It's a classic device, the sidekick device,
exactly.
and we see it in things like
Who
Game
doesn't
of
know
Thrones.
anything, you're explaining the
Yeah,
plot, parts of the plot and the scenario to
yeah,
them. And
yeah,
I think that really helped it along,
yeah.
really, really
There's a
nice.
sensitive side to it as well. I mean, if you look at, say, Game of Thrones and Arya and the Hound,
Hmm.
she looks at him with pity towards the end and sort of almost affection.
Mm.
And I think that the boy, Vic, is starting to do that a little bit. He's starting
Yeah.
to look at him, maybe with respect, but also with a little bit of pity,
Hmm.
because he's seen how his mother manipulates him. We gave a classic example. The
Yeah.
Penguin's relationship with his mother is one of the classic storylines for the Penguin throughout,
Yeah.
and I just love that bit. He's torn, isn't he, between what he does, and his mother just pushes him on.
I know, and that was really nice, that bit as well, that she was actually saying to him, you can take it, this is your
Yeah, it's a
chance
bit
now.
creepy, bit
Yeah, it was
creepy.
a bit creepy. It was a bit
Yeah,
kind of Lady Macbethy, but
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it
Sort of,
but it was good, and it worked really well. She
yeah,
played her role. I don't know the actress actually, but she played her role really well. And again, there's a real great sort of believability about the characters. Yes, you
very
can feel
much
a bit
so.
of sympathy with the Penguin. For me,
Yeah,
this is like when we're reviewing previous things and we're looking at like Sauron in the Rings of Power, we know that they are totally evil. It's an evil creature in a fantasy
Yeah,
world. When I think of these sort of, Batman villains, they're people who've had a bad past, and they are
yeah,
people that you can see why have they gone like that? And it's for these that makes such a rounded character
yeah.
so much more interesting. Yes, you feel a bit of sympathy for him, but you also ultimately know, yeah, he's going to do some pretty dire things, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty damaged individual.
Yeah. Yeah, but it kind of gives a good explanation as to why, doesn't it? It's his
Yeah,
his
it
mother
does.
was quite a creepy character. She's probably one of the creepiest characters in it.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, there's quite a bit of creepiness going on with this show, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what brings you on to the Falcone daughter,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Sophia. Christina Moletti. She's got these weird kind of large
Yeah.
eyes that kind of
Yeah.
hypnotize.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she looks slightly
It was interesting because when she
unhinged.
first came on the screen, I was a little bit like, okay, this is interesting. But then a bit
Yeah,
later on, she kind of comes out more, doesn't she, as this
yeah.
kind of crazy character. And I was more impressed. I thought she delivered it quite well. At
I did
first
as well.
I
Yeah.
didn't know what to expect of her. They were
No.
painting her as a crazy character, and I wondered if she was just going to be crazy. But then she turned out to be quite nasty, didn't she?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
the
don't
bit
want it
where
to
you
go sort
see,
of hammy like Batman 3 or
no,
anything like that. You
no,
you you
no,
want you want it to be within the constraints of this very kind of almost straight-jacketed kind
yeah.
of environment that you've
Yeah,
got. I thought that she did a good job, and in fact, there's a bit of a history, isn't there, of these kind of maniac female characters coming out of Arkham,
yeah.
and I think it tagged
Harley
nicely
Quinn.
onto that.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah, yeah.
tagged nicely onto that. I think she's going to be an interesting character to play. I
And it
did
was,
chuckle
yeah.
a bit well during the show. I thought that was good.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so I think that although it's dark and you've got this grim face that we're always looking at the Penguin, I did laugh a few times at things like when
Mm.
he shot his own car. I thought that was
Yeah.
quite funny. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because that becomes a plot point later on
And
where
he starts the car up and it's playing Dolly Parton and
yeah,
things like
yeah,
that, and he quickly ejects
yeah,
it, and having
yeah,
a little bit of embarrassment to the kid.
yeah,
There
yeah,
was exactly that. I mean, that was the thing.
yeah,
It was creating a character, wasn't it? And that was
yeah.
helping to build him as this person.
A
He's
real person in a sense, even though he's
yeah,
exaggerated,
yeah. Yeah, and showing that he's flawed, that he's got worry, he needed that boost, didn't he, from his mother to
Yeah,
to make him think. And then he sat down, he's watching that film, and that gave him the idea about how to get. And I was like, yeah, interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
this is good.
mm,
This is how it should be. And what was nice about it, it didn't drag. It wasn't boring. It went along at a nice pace.
I think so.
And
It's a slower pace than what we're used to, but I enjoyed it.
yeah, no,
It
I
was
think it was
slightly
a good.
slower,
I think it was a good
which is good.
pace, like we say, built on his role, and then like I know you were saying earlier, the twist or the way he's caught
Mm,
them out at the end as well.
yeah,
I thought was
yeah,
really really good, a nice little twist because you think
yeah,
he went to see Clancy Brown in the this Sal character, and
yeah,
and
yeah,
and and
yeah.
you think he's actually
Salvatore.
trying to sell out the other side, don't you, and trying to get
Yeah,
in with them and. But
but
really
no,
it's a ploy, and
it's a good little
that
plan.
was
It's a
that
nice little
was that
plan.
was nicely done, wasn't it?
It
Yeah.
was really. I thought that was smart little twists. All you need
Yeah.
makes you like,
Yeah.
little light bulb goes on, and you're like, that's nice.
Yes. Yeah.
I would say for me that probably one of the downsides, I didn't see many downsides about
Hmm.
this show,
Hmm.
was I didn't feel Victor, the actor who played him,
Hmm.
Renzi Felez or something like that.
Yeah.
He I wasn't taken in
Right.
by that actor. I felt that he struggled to play against this very strong Colin
Hmm.
Farrell figure.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
thought, I'm looking at this boy, I'm thinking, how's he going to become the
Yeah.
Penguin's lackey? Now, that obviously,
Yeah.
maybe they'll do a really good job,
Yeah.
but he seems too soft around the edges, too nice,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm kind of like, is this kid cast correctly? Hopefully he pulls it around. But for me, I was like, I was a little bit disappointed because I just felt like his acting was a bit inconsistent,
Okay.
and I felt
I
like,
didn't really, it didn't really sort
mm,
of, I didn't sort of notice, I suppose. It kind of,
mm,
he was although he was there with the Penguin, I think he wasn't a main character as such. He's a supporting role. I just kind of felt a little bit like it was more about the Penguin,
mm,
and how he was doing things. He did order him around a lot, didn't he? And I mean, there was one point
mm.
where he was saying, "Oh, have a look at this, have a look at the sunset," because he was
Sunset,
about to get
yeah,
rid of him.
yeah,
And again,
yeah,
that just showed he went a bit soft there, didn't he, to not do it.
yeah.
Once he'd sort of protested.
You
But
kind of wonder why the boy just doesn't run at that point, and it's like
yeah, yeah, I think
the
maybe
penguin's
that's
not going to catch him, is he?
no. I thought maybe that to me was slightly more
Yeah,
an issue was him
yeah.
actually keeping him around. Would it have made more sense that once they got rid of the body, he'd used him to help him get rid of the body, that he just would have put him in the trunk as well? Probably,
I kind
you
of feel
know.
like it could have done with just like an extra little scene where we see Victor back at his home
Yeah.
before he goes out to try and steal the hubcaps from
Hmm.
the Penguin's disgusting car.
Yeah.
And a bit where he's like his dad beats him or something like that, or his mum beats him, or there's some kind of home anger that he wants to escape, or he hasn't got a home. He just lives on the street. He wakes up in the subway.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to go back to. And I would have kind of felt like that's why he's sticking with the Penguin.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
seems too soft, too rough, too kind of too middle class almost to be
Do you
that
think?
kind of urchin. I would have liked to have seen someone with a bit of character, a kid with a bit of character, a bit of
Right.
that might rile against the Penguin a little bit. And the Penguin grabs him by the ear and tells him, "Well, don't you get cocky?"
Yeah, he
That sort of
didn't.
thing.
They
A
didn't
little
sort of have that.
no.
You
It could have
know.
been better if that character had been better, I feel. But we'll see whether they make him into something. Maybe this actor's going to transform into the despicable sidekick that he is pictured as in the comics.
Yes. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
it's the show itself is really good. I would
I thought it was
say
fantastic.
I thought it was like an 8 or a 9 out
Yeah,
of 10. I
yeah,
thought it was
yeah,
really good.
yeah. It's got an
Um,
8.8 on the Internet Movie
has it?
Database.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's
Okay.
highly rated.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
I think that, but it's so part of me is a little bit like it's a shame it's not got like a bit of a Batman feature about it, because we're in Gotham, we got Batman and he's in the background because they talk about him in the background. Maybe
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
and
That's
I'm
as
pretty
far as it goes,
sure
maybe.
I'm pretty sure there's no Batman involvement, so it kind of makes
Yeah.
it a little bit like, if it just had maybe if it was a promise of a little bit of a scene with Batman later on in the
Well,
series,
they're working on the second one, aren't they? So, or they have filmed
the
it. I don't
second
quite know.
film.
Yeah,
I think it's due
with
to
the
film.
Jokers.
I don't think
Is
it's
it?
due until 26. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think it's a couple of years
I hope
away.
they take the time about it because it could be a great film. But
Yeah,
I I'm kind of in two minds as to whether the Batman should feature on
I know.
the
Mm,
trailers,
mm,
because you were kind of like, if you put Batman in the trailer, then
yeah.
everybody's gonna be looking for the Batman.
No, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
you
It just
can't put him
seems
in trailer.
weird. It's in a
I'm still
Batman world without
optimistic
Batman.
that he
That's all
will.
I.
I'm optimistic he'll have a little
No,
cameo, and it doesn't have to be Patterson in his costume. It could
no,
just be
that's true.
someone in the distance standing on
Yeah, yeah.
the top of a building.
And
That would
to
everybody
be
be like,
honest, it could actually work quite well if when Penguin's doing some stuff that the Batman has been there already, done, saved the day, and you don't
yeah.
actually
Now
see
that they might
him.
do that.
You
Yeah,
don't
they might
actually
do
see
that.
him,
Hmm.
and it's
Yeah, that's a
like
good idea.
he's been and gone, like Batman
Yeah,
would be, not everybody's
yeah.
going to see Batman, are they?
No.
That could be a potential, way of adding the Batman without him being there.
Yeah. And listen, there's other
Mm.
villains in the
Yeah,
canon as well that could feature,
definitely.
or other superheroes that maybe might sort of pop up. Like, I don't know, Catwoman may kind
Yeah,
of be in there. I mean, she's sort of in the middle, really, isn't she? But
yeah.
they all kind of know each other a little bit as the story evolves,
Yeah,
the lore.
yeah.
So, it'd be interesting to see what comes of it.
Yeah,
I
it will. It will. I'm
yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the next episode.
yeah, me
I
too.
think that's always a real good a positive. I didn't feel bored during it, it was a good watch,
Yeah,
there's a lot going for this. I think
yeah,
it's a great series,
definitely, definitely.
Um, if a bit unexpected, that they're going to do a Penguin series, but
It's got its
um,
own identity. I
yeah,
think there was such a positive response to Colin Farrell's interpretation of the Penguin. I think that that they like let's ride this wave,
yeah,
and put this out and see what happens.
absolutely,
And if they can do it in
absolutely,
a really respectful way, there's no reason why it just can't sit in the Batman canon and be something that people come back to and enjoy.
definitely. And it could even be a conduit between, say, the first film and the second film.
I think it almost is, isn't it, to a
you
certain
know,
extent?
who knows? There
Mm.
might be that it finishes, and then when the film comes out, that kind of picks up from something that maybe's happened in that, or maybe he does come back as the main villain this time in the second film.
Yeah, yeah,
Although, like you say, I think there was talk of the Joker, isn't there? Because
yes.
they'd
There's
also
this,
showed the Joker in the first
yeah,
film, hadn't they, with the
mm,
Riddler?
yeah,
So
in
that's a
Arkham.
definite. Everyone loves the Joker.
Oh,
He's a great
fantastic.
villain.
Yeah,
It's just how they're gonna do it and how they're gonna take it forward, isn't it? And we've had some
yeah,
quite unusual, takes on the Joker. Not
yeah,
unusual, just slightly different, I suppose.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, he's pulled out some great performances over the year, hasn't he? Yeah,
yeah. Oh, good,
yeah,
excellent. So, yeah, we were all pretty positive about that one, which is nice.
yeah. Great to have something like this.
Makes a
Yeah.
change to be positive about something.
Oh, we can be. We can be.
We are when it's good. We are when it's good.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely. Thanks for watching. If you like what we're saying, obviously don't forget to subscribe and press the like button. Leave any comments. We'd love to hear people's comments on what we're saying. Tell us what you thought of the series. Otherwise, we'll see you again soon. What was his name?
Marconi. No,
Well, yeah,
something, something like that. Calzone.
Calzone. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I want to say Calzone.
yeah.